Hello and welcome to Tobysblogs. In today's video we're going to be talking about the Flux. Now I've kind of avoided doing a video on the Flux mainly because last time I did a Doctor Who review everyone just had a huge go at me, so I'm going to review the Flux. This is my opinion. So here we go. So I'll start off with the first episode, which was called The Halloween Apocalypse. Now it was an okay episode. I think it wasn't one of the best. It had lots of good elements in it. We basically, it's an introductory episode, basically introducing all the little pieces of the series. It was interesting. We had that new character, Diane, was it? Oh, that was an interesting element where we kind of get introduced to a companion who we haven't met before. But then when we go along the series, we find out she's not actually a companion, she's just having visions. So that's kind of a cop-out, I think. I didn't really like that, because I was hoping she was going to be a companion that we kind of met in the wrong order, like River Song. But no, it wasn't like that at all. So this review is kind of weird because I've watched the episodes we've seen so far, so it's going to be a bit odd in reviewing each episode. But yeah, so that episode was quite good. We got introduced to the Swarm, which was really good as well. I think they're really good really good characters. As we go through the series, they're really good characters as well. Really interesting characters. Quite a number of flaws with that episode, I suppose. One was, you know, the Arctic. Why were the Swarm woman in the Arctic? Don't know that bit. And the Tunnel Man, which I kind of loved, because when I saw the Tunnel Man, I haven't seen any previews of anything when I started this series, so I went in brand new. And the moment I saw that Tunnel Man in Liverpool, I thought, I know who that is, because I watched a documentary called Underground Worlds, and they were talking about the tunnels underground. So he's a real person, but he doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Like, we see him through the series and nothing happens. So it's kind of weird, but I'm assuming he must be quite important to the plot because he keeps cropping up, so there's got to be a good payoff at the end, which would be interesting. Yes, that was good. And we got introduced to a few elements as well in that first episode. You know, we've got the Weeping Angels, and then the Carvanista. That's the person. The Lupari. What a stupid design. Come on, what a stupid design. God, it's just silly. When I saw that, I thought, this is absolutely ridiculous. Like, are they trying to get an award for one of the worst Doctor Who monsters of all time? Well, design-wise, actually. Not the worst monsters, because they are quite good and interesting monsters, but just the design. If I was doing this, a dog monster, you know, the jackals, you know, the Egyptian jackals, the Anubis kind of thing, black kind of dog with a big snout, that one would look scary, one looks intriguing, and it would look so much better, you know, instead of a snuffy. It just looks really poor in my eyes. I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for this, but I think the costume design for the Lupari are very poor and quite silly. Like, he does his acting, you know, and they have silly jokes between each other, and it's just silly because he's a dog. And like, if he was more aggressive, like, or looked more like a jackal Egyptian Anubis head, then that would have looked scary, but also interesting. I think that would have been the better choice instead of a stupid dog thing that they hid. Anyway, that's good. New companion was good as well. His name escapes me. Dan. He was a great companion. John Bishop. He's really good going through the series as well. What else was in that episode? You know, it was so long ago, wasn't it? And oh yeah, we have Vinda. Yay, Vinda. That was a good introduction. Vinda, and we have the Flux destroying the whole thing. And then for most of these cliffhangers as well, it's kind of a cop-out. Yeah, it's a cop-out for the thing. Then we go into the best episode of the season so far, which is I want to say War of the Sontaran. Is that correct? I can't remember. Something like that. Anyway, we've got fantastic. We go in the past. We've got Mary Seacole. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is that correct? Yes, it is correct. Mary Seacole, fantastic actress playing her. We had the Sontarans in battle. We had the best battle scenes we've ever seen in Doctor Who, with the massive battles and things. That was really good. The Sontarans were amazing, back to their classic design, which was fantastic. Classic design of the Sontarans. Him riding a horse, not too fussed about that. Other people are, but I don't really care. And no one noticed, all the reviews I've noticed, no one has noticed that the little roundels on their necks are like little Sontaran spaceships. They're, you know, no one's mentioned that little bit of detail in the costume. But that was a fantastic story. Not only were we in the past, we skipped to the future, and we have the Sontarans going through the streets, which was epic, fantastic. We go on Sontaran spaceships, things explode, you know, the Lupari come to save the day, and it's a fantastic episode. Wonderful all-rounder episode, fantastic. That's one of the best ones that I think Chibnall has written and has done in a long time, and that was such an epic story. And then we move on to the spacey timey. Oh, I didn't mention the bit about Yaz and Dan going off to the alien world of time, and we meet the Maury. I keep thinking, am I saying that right? Am I doing that right? Am I saying this right? Who cares? The Maury, and the swarm come back to finally destroy what they failed to do. Anyway, it gets confusing because things go round and round in circles. Anyway, this is probably a crap review. Bear with me. I'm trying to do this from memory. So off we go. So then we got the next episode where Dan and Yaz are now becoming Maury, and then the Doctor saves them, another cop-out, by throwing them into the time vortex. And then we go and see individual storylines, which is really cool. The Doctor takes over Joe Martin's role, and that's fantastic. And we flick between Joe Martin. A lot of people didn't like this episode. I did, because it had lots of information and lots of exciting pieces in it, which I really liked. And so we see Joe Martin again. I love Joe Martin's Doctor, even though I'm 100% not a fan of the Timeless Child at all. I want to make sure that it's extremely clear. I'm not a fan of any Doctors before Hartnell. No. So I'm not a fan of the Timeless Child, but I do like Joe Martin's Doctor. But the rest, no. Morbius Doctors, fuck that. No. So yeah, so we go into the time vortex, and we have Weeping Angels and the Maury and the Doctor battling and things, and different time zones. And yeah, it's interesting. I really like that. And then Dan goes back to the Mole Man, the Digger Man, and he turns up for no good reason. Oh, we get introduced to a new character, Bev. Oh, just got to really forget. I don't know, Beth. I can't remember what her name is. Something beginning with B. You can see how much I pay attention. Anyway, so she turns up, and we find out that she's Vinder's wife, and they're having a child, and that's throwing up big no-nos. The Doctor's parents. Oh dear. Most people are saying that she's the Doctor's parent. They're the Doctor's parents, but I don't know. Is that a time loop? Is that not a time loop, a paradox? If Vinder knows about the Time Lords, the Vinder knows about the TARDIS, and then when Bev, or whatever her name is, she gives birth to the Doctor and then pushes her through the time vortex, where that other lady, I don't know what her name is, finds the Timeless Child and creates the Time Lord race. You know, isn't that a paradox? Because he already knows about it, yet he created it. Ugh. Chibnall stuff. God, it does your head in, doesn't it? So what else? Higgledy-piggledy jiggledy. So yeah, so we've got the Timeless Child thing. Oh, Vinder and Beth. Vinder's storyline, he's kind of got high morals. That's basically that's what it was going for. The Doctor stuff's more interesting with the swarm and how they wanted to disrupt time. And it's kind of this gameplay going on. But I think the most the best bit for that episode was when the Doctor asks for more information about the Division and who she is, and then she gets flung into this timeline with this old lady. Who is this old lady? But it's interesting what she says. No one else picks up these interesting little bits. Is it only me that's paying attention? Like these little pieces that no one else seems to have mentioned. Like she says, oh, well, the Swarm were a good addition to the game. No one's mentioned that in a review about the game. She says the game. So this game. The moment I heard that, I thought the game of Rassilon, you know, like kind of the Time Lords playing a game, and this whole thing is a game. And the Doctor started the Flux, which was interesting, or was the cause of the Flux. That's interesting. I think the Time Lords, or the Division, it's looking more like the Division now because of the last episode, but the Division want to hide the fact that the Doctor is the Timeless Child, or created the Time Lords, and so they created the Flux to do something. And I think it's a bit flawed logic. I don't know, something like that. I'm thinking. But the addition to the game, that's the bit that I think. This game, this whole game that's playing, and the Swarm are just pawns in the game, which was interesting. Fenric, I've just thought of that, could be Fenric. Or people are saying that she could be the White Guardian. When I first saw it, I thought the Rani. Maybe because I want the Rani to be in it, but it could be the Rani. Probably not the Rani. The Celestial Toymaker. It's kind of like all these kind of powerful beings. It could be any of those. Which was interesting. We don't know who she is. So that's interesting. I mean, move on from that episode. The Weeping Angels take over the TARDIS. Oh, God. And then they pilot the TARDIS back to some time in the past, where there's lots of Weeping Angels, and they're all trying to get the Weeping Angel in Diana's mind. I don't know what her name is, something with a D. I don't know. So they get into her mind. It was a good story with the Weeping Angels. They're chasing in, they're moving, lots of Weeping Angels, you know, kind of the quantum leap thing. I don't know what on earth that was about, you know. It's kind of like, it seems to be completely dismissed. Why would they take a piece of that time and put it in space? It just seemed a bit stupid. We'll find out next week, I suppose, but it seemed a bit irrelevant. The whole episode with the three characters of the Professor and the Doctor and Diana were interesting. I like that he was a psychic professor. That he was trying to get to know her, and it was lots of good visual effects as well. There was a great element in the story. I really liked it. And they're trying to escape from the Weeping Angels, and then of course the Doctor turns into an angel at the end. You know, it got confusing. I thought this, out of the 4 episodes we've seen, this one I think was the most confusing, because I could follow the others. This one was a bit confusing because they didn't spell it out. Now I think some people aren't as intelligent as other people, and I think especially children. Well, I'm not saying children are stupid, but I'm like, you know, when you're adults, you have a better thought process and thinking and problem solving, etc., etc. Children's, their minds are not so developed, etc. It's a family show, but you know, one, they said that the angels were working for the Division. Okay, I can get that, but then they say, but then the Doctor turns into Weeping Angels. So then, are all the Division are angels? All the members of the Division are Weeping. It gets confusing when you do that. It was probably made for the cliffhanger, so the cliffhanger was spectacular, but it didn't make sense. Why? So are all the Division angels, or are the angels working for the Division? That's the bit that was confusing. I didn't like that. The other episodes I can go through and go, yeah, I understand most of it, and I can understand it, but that bit I didn't really understand because it wasn't as clear as it should be. Yes, that's my review on the Flux. I'm really enjoying the Flux, mainly because it's exciting, because any monster could turn up in it. This series probably has the highest count of monsters in a story there has ever been. We've had Cybermen, we've had Daleks, we've had Sontarans, we've had Weeping Angels, we have had the Lupari, we're going to have Ood next week, and there's probably going to be some more. So we've had at least 6 monsters, and I like it that this is done, that anything can turn up, anything can come up, anything can turn up. And I think that's the exciting parts of the series, where anything can turn up, and that's really exciting. I like that about the episode, that the series in whole. Anything can turn up. I'm hoping that they're not going to do the obvious thing where the Doctor is Vinder's child, because that would be a bit silly. I'm hoping they're not going to do that. And are they going to do a big reset at the end? I thought when they first started it, if they destroy the universe, they must do a reset at some point. So are they going to do that? Is it going to be like a whole cop-out, like the whole Flux didn't exist? Dun dun dun. Or the Doctor stops the swarm getting out of the encasement with the division. Something like that. I don't know. Anyway, that's my review of kind of look at my about the Flux. I hope you enjoyed it and watched it to the end. If you have, fantastic. If you haven't, well, you're not watching this anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you and goodbye.